Now, by any reckoning, this vehicle represents one of the high points of British motoring history. The Mini, still very much alive. Indeed, this year is its 30th anniversary, and we shall be reflecting that in later programmes. This is a particularly famous example of the breed, borrowed from the sister museum, the Heritage Trust, at Science Park, because this car won the 1964 Monte Carlo Rally, driven by Paddy Hopkirk. Just the start, really, of a long and illustrious sporting career. Becky Allen's been looking at just a few of the sports this car takes part in.
Less than a year from its introduction in 1959, the Mini was rallying. The works team was led by the meticulous Stuart Turner, and there was no holding them back. With a wheel stuck out at each corner and front-wheel drive, it carved its way through the snow and ice, ahead of its rear-drive rivals. Larger cars like the Citroën were quashed by the more compact Mini, with its incredible manoeuvrability. In the world's oldest and toughest rally, the Monte Carlo, the Mini beat them all in 1964, 65 and 67. Sir Alec Issigonis, the Mini's designer, couldn't have dreamt of such successes. He'd put a wheel at each corner to get optimum passenger space, and the new front-wheel drive system kept the engine out the way. The original, which cost £500, produced a measly 37 horsepower. To celebrate BMC's golden years in the mid-60s, when these little cars stormed around the track beating everything in sight, Austin Rover has produced a beautiful and nostalgic limited edition. Painted in the original racing trim with a white roof and chrome bumpers, you can choose between flame red or British racing green. And for just under £5,000, these little cars really get you in the mood for racing. Spectators at saloon car events in the 60s were astonished when they first saw the Mini racing. The low centre of gravity and nimble road holding made up for the tiny engine, and the car could easily keep up with the huge 5-litre American Fords. And what better way to retire an old rally car than Rally Cross? With its lightweight and corner-hugging capabilities, the Mini was a natural and did well in competition, though not always.
Which he does not do! Keith Rippett, real trouble! The car flies apart!
The Mini used to be a top international racer, and these little cars still hare around the track today because it's one of the cheapest forms of motorsport. All you do, buy a car, join the club, take a medical, get your licence, register for the race, get scrutineered, and off you go. This is Castle Combe near Bristol, and this is the Mini Challenge. It's designed to give everyone a chance to race on a track. So what's it like out there?
Very exciting, very close racing, very competitive, lots of fun, and a very friendly atmosphere after the race as well.
I had a fantastic dice for about 6 or 7 laps before, sadly, the engine decided to explode. But having said that, you know, I really enjoyed the race.
Aren't you a bit tall to be driving a Mini?
Everybody says that. In fact, there's only one seat in there, and there's plenty of room.
There's a 1000cc engine, and changes to the cam, manifold and tuning give up to 100 brake horsepower. And that means over 130 miles an hour, with slick tyres and slick driving. One sport where Minis have always been competitive, and still are, is auto testing. That's racing against the clock and between the bollards. Thousands of cars compete in clubs across the country, and the Mini's still a favourite. But there are some modifications. Bodies are lightened and strengthened, and the suspension stiffened. Speed and accuracy are what it's all about. The Mini is no longer truly competitive in rallycross, but it has its own version, Minicross. Driving on the basic 850 engine and frequently on all grass tracks, this is cheap motorsport.
With Minicross, if you've got £500 to spend, anything upwards from that and you can start racing, you can be racing here at Brands Hatch and enjoying yourself, at least most of the time.
And if you don't think it's fun, just watch this.